Hello, my name is Lauren Monique, and in this video, I want to show you the one thing that I wish I understood years ago that is going to make the difference between having a consistent, predictable, growing online business and one that you feel like you can't depend on that gets either inconsistent results, that you feel like you're throwing spaghetti at the wall, or maybe you feel like I just can't get this thing to work. How are people doing it? And I just can't get it to work for me. How do I create that predictable, consistent, growing revenue in my business? So I want to share this with you. It took me at least 5 years to really grasp this, and I'm going to share it with you in 5 minutes or less because once you get it, you're going to see it's so simple. And everyone that you look up to who has a thriving business has all these four pieces in place. So I'm going to share my screen and we are going to get started and I will show you how this works. So I used to be a teacher, and that's why I'm so big on making sure that people know how to develop their curriculums, how to get results. And I used to love writing on my whiteboard. And when I figured out how to do it on my computer, like on a Zoom, oh my gosh, just a game changer for me. So every business needs these four elements. Okay, they need these four elements. So the first thing that you need in your business is you need an attraction strategy. You need an attraction strategy. You need a way to get in front of your ideal people. And I'm going to go through these in deeper once you see the big picture. But as I go through them, I'd love for you to give yourself a rating: red, yellow, or green. Red, you don't have any of this in place. Yellow, you might have some of it in place, but it doesn't feel quite right. Or green, it feels like, boom, I've got this. This is working really well for me. So the first thing you need is an attraction strategy. So that might be something like getting in front of new people on Instagram, using Facebook ads, doing local presentations, doing exchanges, having a freebie out in a Facebook group. There's lots of different ways, but you need to be getting in front of your ideal people. The next thing you need is a sales mechanism. So this is how you're going to take these people who are getting to know you, who see you and you're getting in front of, how you're going to make an offer to them, how you're going to actually sell the things that you have to sell. So that might look like a discovery call, a sales call. It might look like a webinar. It might look like a 5-day challenge. It might look like selling on the DMs, but it's something that you perform consistently that gets you clients. The next thing that you need is a magnetic offer. A magnetic offer is the way that you package your product. And I'm going to share what that looks like in a moment. And then the last thing you need is a program that gets repeatable results. So a program that gets results. So I'm going to go through these pieces and I'd love for you to think about where you're at with each one. So what I noticed for a while when I didn't have these pieces in place, when I was selling to teachers, I used to run a mentoring program for teachers to help them stop working evenings and weekends. I taught them how to refine how they create their curriculum and how to map out all of the stuff that they needed to teach. And I taught them systems. And the thing that I realized is I had a magnetic offer. I had a program that got results, and I had a way of selling to them, but I didn't have an attraction strategy. And you know what happened is that after a time, my sales were like this. They were growing, 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 and then I hit a plateau, and then they started to decline. And I didn't know why until it finally hit me like, oh my gosh, I don't have a way of consistently getting in front of new people. I went like this. Sometimes I did something and I got a wave of new people and then I'd have no one. And it wasn't a consistent strategy to get in front of more teachers, my ideal clients. So my business plateaued and then declined until I realized, oh, I need to grow my attraction strategy. Once I built up more people, I was able to make sales again. A sales mechanism is you need to have a way that feels aligned to you, a way that you really enjoy, that feels good. And it's a way of providing value to the people that are coming into your world and making an offer to them. And sometimes my clients get hung up on, like, say, like I had one client and she said, I really want to, I really want to start this program. I have all these people who are interested, but I feel like I'm doing it wrong because everyone says you need to do webinars, and I just don't really like webinars. And I said, you don't, she's like, I've been doing these Zoom meetings and people are interested, but I feel like I'm doing it wrong. And I said, you don't need to do a webinar. There's lots of different ways that you can sell to people. You can do it the way that works for you. And we created a strategy that worked for her. And she filled her program and got 17 people in her program that we ran together. So it doesn't have to be a webinar. It doesn't have to be a 5-day challenge. It's what's the strategy that you feel really good about, that feels right for you, that you can sell what you have to offer. The next thing you need is that magnetic offer. And what I want you to see here is that your magnetic offer and your program are not the same things. They're not the same things. So, like, if you think of okay, this is my beautiful drawing here. If you think of shampoo, your offer and your program are different. The shampoo itself is your program. That's what actually gets people the results they're looking for. Clean hair, volume in their hair, whatever. And then the way that we package the shampoo is how we let people know that it's right for them. That's the offer. Does that make sense? So when you go to the store, you go to the drugstore, the pharmacy, whatever, and you're looking for shampoo, there's all these different shampoos, right? And the way that you know that the shampoo is right for you is by looking at the label and saying, oh, this is going to get me more volume. This is going to help me with curly hair. This is going to help me with color treated hair, whatever it is, the problem that you want to solve. That's what's going to tell you this is the shampoo for me. And so that's your offer, and your program is the actual shampoo that does that thing. Does that make sense? So you need a magnetic offer that communicates what it is that you do in a way that people are like, oh my gosh, yes, that's what I need. So if you've ever said oh my gosh, I don't feel like I can communicate. I don't know how to communicate what it is that I do. It might be because you don't have a magnetic offer that you feel really good and you don't know how to communicate it. The other thing I want to stress here is that sometimes people tell me, "Oh, Lauren, I'd really like to learn from you, but I need to work on my marketing first." And I'm like, "Marketing is all of this. That's marketing." So if you're saying to yourself, I think I need to learn about marketing. That's great. Everybody does, because odds are you are an expert at what you do and you don't necessarily know the business side or the marketing side. But there's actually three pieces to marketing. There's your lead strategy, there's your selling strategy, and then there's your messaging and how you're communicating what it is that you do. So you want to get clear on what's the piece of marketing that you need help with or that you need to learn more about. The last thing that I want to share here is that you need to know your program and your magnetic offer before you can think about your attraction and sales mechanism strategies. Because if you start attracting people into your world that are not right for your offer or not right for your program, you're either going to not sell them or you're going to sell them into your program and they're not going to get results. So the thing you need to do in terms of steps is the first step, and let's do it in different colors so you can focus on this. Step one is creating your offer and creating your program. So if you're moving from a one-to-one model or you've done a course before, you need to know what your course is, what your program is, what your offer is first. Then you can start thinking about how you're selling it and how you're going to grow your audience. And honestly, I mean, these are kind of together, but for me, I would look at it like this, unless you have no audience, and you might need to do that together. You need to begin with the end in mind, and then okay, then I'm going to think about how I'm attracting people and how I'm going to sell them into my program. Does that make sense? So let's just recap, because I really want you to be able to understand what took me so long to get, is that every online business, every offer, every program that you create needs an attraction strategy, a sales mechanism, a magnetic offer, how do you communicate it, and then a program that's going to get people results. If you're missing one of these, you're likely going to have a hard time really building that predictable, like that predictable business that brings in revenue that you're really proud of and everything. The last thing that I'll say is that if you are like me and you're thinking, well, I want to create this program and I want to create this program. What about this niche? And what about this niche? Know that if you have lots of different programs that you're creating, like you want to do a health program and you want to do, I don't know, whatever your different niches are, and you want to create different kinds of offers for different kinds of people, you're going to need to do this for every single new niche and new offer that you create. So it's much easier and much simpler, and it's going to be a lot less work and a lot less effort to do it for one main signature program than it is for creating lots of different programs for lots of different people because you're going to get better and better and better at this over time. And yes, you can do smaller offers like a low ticket that leads to this main offer, for example. But you want everyone to be like everyone in your world to be going on this customer journey that leads them here. And the more you have lots of different ones, the more it's going to be a lot of work for you without the same amount of payoff. So you want to be thinking about, okay, this is the path that I'm taking people on. Where do I need support in my business? And what do I need to work on next? And the first step, if you don't have this in place, is to create your magnetic offer and your program that gets results. So I hope that this was helpful for you today. If you had any ahas, send me a message on Instagram. I'm lauramonique.business. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you in our upcoming training. Okay, I'll see you soon.